Okay, so this video is going to show you how to run a truly impressive Google Ads audit with AI. If you've ever tried like custom GPTs that promise the world, they say that you're gonna have this AI assistant in your pocket that can answer any question. If you've ever actually tested them, bullshit. And the reason is because they can't access the data. That has changed somewhat with, developments in AI because you can connect your Google Ads account to ChatGPT and Claude. But if you tried that as well via MCP, we did another video on this, it's very flawed. It can only pick out certain amounts of data. It takes a long amount of time to pull everything together. And usually it's just very flawed. Now, you can export your account data from the Google Ads editor. You can go to the Google Ads editor. This is a Google Ads account here. You can press the account button and you can export the whole account, which looks great. It looks like that means you can export all the data, maybe feed that data into an LLM. But actually, the reality is different. So when you hit that export button on the Google Ads editor, it exports something like this: campaign structure. It has some things like negative keywords, audience segmentation, things like that. There's not a lot of depth here to actually do an in-depth audit of an account, which is really disappointing actually. So you can't really export the data unless you do it very manually within Google Ads. But there's a workaround. You can create a script within Google Ads to tell Google Ads to export all the data that you want to a spreadsheet. So this is for an LLM analysis. And we're telling Google Ads with this script, I want all the campaign data, I want all the relevant search, impression, share data. Tell me about the ads, tell me about the keywords, all of the negative keywords. I want you to map the ads to the landing pages and tell me about those. Basically, we're doing this to get a really in-depth audit. Now, I've been tinkering for this for 2 weeks and had like 37 different tabs. I had literally every single piece of information that you could export from Google Ads, but it was very inefficient. Once I tried to feed that to an LLM like ChatGPT or Claude, it just fell away. It couldn't compute all the data, it hallucinated, it was just too slow. So this is the sweet point. It's accessible for free on Notion. I've added a link in the description as well. So the process for this is that you have to script into Google Ads to receive all of the data. And then once you have that data, you go to Claude or ChatGPT and you give it a prompt and you say, hey, you've got all this data from my account now, and I want you to now go and run this very detailed prompt and produce a clear client-ready audit focused on fundamentals and business impact. So we're asking it to then take all of the account data and give us a really beautiful report back. And again, I had to perfect this prompt. I had to give it a lot of logic. I had to tell it exactly what I wanted to display. And so there was a lot of trial and error, but I believe that this prompt is actually really solid. I've tested it many times now, and I'll show you what results it yields. But I was actually really impressed with this. If you've done any kind of audits on Google Ads accounts before, it does take quite a long time to get to grips with exactly what's going on. And this, I feel, it's not absolutely mind-blowing, but it probably will save you hours of that initial analysis. So when you upload the document to, I prefer Claude, but I'll also show you what the output looks like on ChatGPT. It'll go through and analyze the Excel file that you upload to it in detail. So I said to it, like, here's the prompt, here's the Excel file, go and create this audit. And what it came back with was, I thought it was very impressive. So you can see here, this is the version 1 of what Claude gave me. And this is for an event accommodation special, kind of like a travel agent type Google Ads account. And it gives me the top 5 critical insights at first. So it says the homepage is massively underperforming. Your conversion rate on the homepage is a lot lower. It then goes on to say, and actually the cost per conversion is higher, so it's a double whammy. You're constrained by budget. Your impressions share isn't as good as it should be or could be. If you want to scale that account, you're actually in a position where you could do. It talks about the mobile device advantage, average cost per acquisition of £14 versus £25. This is a UK business. It also very insightfully determines that certain location-specific pages, again, this is for a travel company, are delivering far superior performance than others or generic pages, because we also send people to generic accommodation type pages or home pages, but uncover that those pages are just not performing as well. In detail, this audit, right? I mean, we have it going through, so just to roll back, we go through the entire account overview and trends, the impression share and lost opportunities. We look at the keywords, so winners and waste. So we want to identify like how wasteful are the keywords on this account. what are some of the high performing terms for expansion, and potential negatives. By the way, once you have this initial audit ready, of course, you can then query it. You can say, okay, based on the information, go and give me some terms that I might want to add a negative. So this is just a starting point. What I love about this is that everything you're doing is based off the real data that's been exported directly from this ads account. Now, you might want to add layers to this. You might want to feed in Google Analytics data, more context about the business, maybe financial metrics, good workaround to get a reliable audit based on the real data. I'll show you actually what I did after I received this report. I went back to Claude and I said, hey, can you make this look prettier, make it look more enticing? Maybe I want to share it with my client. And Claude did that. Of course, you can play around with this once you have that initial audit. Top 5 profit leaks identified. It even gives like an implementation timeline. It talks about budget, throttling the performance, just an overview of what's going on within the account. What is the total spend or impressions or clicks, just so you can get a snapshot of actually what's going on. And again, I love this because I personally love having to navigate through all the different tabs within Google Ads. And with this, within 10 minutes, I can get a really good snapshot overview of exactly what's going on in an account. And I know for a fact that it's based on the real data. It's not hallucinating. The prompt as well that I've devised, because earlier when I was testing this, it did hallucinate. It hallucinated data and I had to double check. Sometimes it just came up with complete and utter nonsense. But now I've got it to a stage where it's just working reliably time after time. And I'm really happy with this. I think I would be quite happy to roll this out across multiple ad accounts. It talks about strategic site link recommendations. I mean, really, it does go into a lot of detail, and you can poke and prod and ask more questions as well. So, really cool audit. You can see here, this is a critical landing page performance breakdown. So you can see this page is gold, the gold star, 120 clicks, really strong conversion rate versus the account average. And you can see that generic page and the home page are only converting conversion rate of 4%, which would be okay if they were cheaper, but they're not. They're even more expensive. So that's obviously a critical issue as well. It gives us like hypotheses and solutions. This page is underperforming. Maybe you can do this. I don't know about you. I think this is actually genuinely a really good audit. This is so far away in front of the generic custom GPTs that you see people on LinkedIn or Twitter sharing. Some really good insight. There's some things that you will want to take with a pinch of salt. The conversion tracking health is only based on that we're feeding it from the Google Ads account. So I can't see any conversion values here. I can't see ROAS calculations, or that's not possible because there's limited information. Implemented the prompt to say, don't give any recommendations where you aren't 100% sure that, the data is there and you can give a reliable assessment. So definitely advise you to go and play around and test this out. I think that's a really good workaround, using the script to export the data. If you use ChatGPT instead of Claude, which I know probably most people will, it works just the same. It's fine. Prompt, and this is the export that I received. So you still get, the business context, the critical top 5 insights, executive summary. You still get basically the same result. I personally prefer the output from Claude. You can ask questions. You can ask ChatGPT to improve the design of the output as well. This is a challenge in general that we've been trying to solve a lot with our new tool, ppc.io. So we're trying to get it to where you don't have to fiddle around with scripts with different prompts. You'll be able to sign up, use our tool, and get insights like that instantly for any ads account. And the actual presentation of those audits look amazing. So please do sign up for our waitlist. We're launching a beta. The goal is next month in October. If you're interested in this kind of thing, if you really want to dashboard platforms just to get those insights on your clients, to have a super AI do it for you, please do sign up to our waitlist and please follow along. Hopefully you found this enjoyable. The entire process is, again, free for anybody to access. I'm leaving the link available. Copy and paste this script. There's a link here. Google Sheet input URL to your Google Ads script area. You run it. You get the data into a spreadsheet, you upload that data to your LL, and then you feed in the prompt, which is listed on this page. So thank you for listening. Hopefully you found this helpful.